Hey folks, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Monday, it's September 30th. Hope you're doing well and hope you had a great weekend. In this video, we're going to be discussing the possibility of an ETF for XRP in 2025 and how I'm preparing for that inevitable launch. Even if it's in 2026 or beyond, I'm going to start preparing now. This is the number one thing that I'm doing to prepare for the ETF. So I'm going to discuss all of that and more. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And full disclosure, I do own XRP. It's my largest crypto. So Ripple CEO anticipates that an XRP ETF is likely by 2025. There's been a lot of legal experts and other analysts around the space saying that it makes sense to see it at some point in 2025. And I'm in that camp as well. I think it's going to be some point in 2025. One thing we can keep an eye out for as a clue would be Canada. Usually Canada approves ETFs. If we look at the MJ space as well, they're usually like a guinea pig almost. So we should see, in my opinion, Canada launch an XRP ETF first. That's what happened with Bitcoin and also Ethereum. So I think the most likely scenario is we see Canada approve an XRP ETF first, and then hopefully that's in 2025 or even sooner. Maybe it happens before the end of the year. I can't see it, but more than likely 2025 after the case fully concludes with the SEC, which they have 1 week from today to appeal. So I don't think they're going to do it. I'm in the no camp. Let me know in the comments section below. Are you in the yes camp or the no camp? So we'll see what happens with that, but there's tons. It just doesn't make any sense this close to the election, right? So I think that an XRP ETF in 2025 makes a lot of sense. We could see Ripple IPO as well in 2025. Things are really starting to heat up in the IPO world as well. So we're going to see that. And then Grayscale relaunching their XRP Trust. This is just another testament to the fact that we're more than likely going to see an ETF at some point soon. And then after this, it's Grayscale ETF. It's Kathy Woods is going to get into it. You're going to get BlackRock, right? And oh man, there's going to be so much potential. It's not even funny. But the question is how much is the price going to run into a launch, right? If you look at Bitcoin, whenever its ETF launched, it wasn't when it was at 52-week lows or near all-time lows, or it wasn't in the dumps. It was going parabolic, right? And they're going to use that at the end of this cycle as exit liquidity, in my opinion. Make it easy for the masses to be able to buy it, and then price is already inflated, and then we'll inflate it even more, and then at the top of the bubble, you just rope everybody in, you suck everybody in, and then you use them as exit liquidity, right? So again, it'll be hard to tell what I'll do when an ETF does launch for XRP. It's going to be really dependent on what the price is. If price is 10x from now or 20x from now, when it launches, when I can physically buy it, well then, that's going to change my game plan. Maybe I'll wait for a dip, maybe daily oversold or weekly oversold territory to start adding that, right? But obviously I have a plan. If you haven't seen my XRP video, I also posted a price target, sell target, and my exit plan. So I give you take profit price levels with an example. So if you haven't seen that, I highly encourage you to check that out. So I've got, a short-term position, I've got a longer term position, and I have different price levels that I'm taking profit at. So I'm set up either way. I own the crypto, but that's going to imply tax implications, right? So in Canada, it just gets treated as a capital gain similar to a stock. You'll have to check your jurisdiction or wherever your region, wherever you are, as it does differ. But basically, I'm just talking about the tax-free savings account when the ETF launches. The reason why I'm saying TFSA is because this is the number one thing I'm doing to prepare for that ETF, is to have a TFSA with contribution room in it ready to go. So I've maxed out my TFSA this year in 2024. I think we were given 7,000, which I used all of that, right? So now in January 1st, 2025, in a couple of months, we will get, as Canadians, we'll get an extra, I think it's going to be somewhere around 6,500 to 7,000 again. So if we get another $7,000, that means I can put, let's say if there was an XRP ETF available on January 1st, then I'd be able to buy that in my TFSA and max out my 7,000, right? And again, it just depends on what the price is. Maybe I'll wait, or maybe I'll buy it right then and there, or I'll kind of scale in, right? We'll see what happens, but I'll do an update whenever I do devise a plan with regards to that. But again, it's going to be dependent on when an XRP is even available in Canada that I can purchase through my tax-free savings account. And those that are not familiar, it's exactly that. Just when you go to sell, it's not taxable, right? It's tax-free. So you get to keep 100% of what the gains are. So that's why I'm utilizing the TFSA here in Canada. If you're in the US, well, then you can check into your options, obviously contact your financial and tax advisor and kind of figure out the best plan for you, right? I can't tell you to buy, sell, or hold, or what to do, where to put it in. Obviously, I can't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving my game plan on what I'm doing. So as a Canadian, I'm going to look to take full advantage over that. I'm also looking at MJ stocks because they're very low, but I would say that most of it's going to be held for XRP ETF at some point in 2025, and look for Canada to be one of the first to do that. And then that could basically foreshadow some of the other big names in the space getting into it as well. But a great sign that we have the trust back, and then even from the CEO anticipating an ETF at some point in 2025. So things are heating up in a big way. Again, you can check out my video on my sell targets and whatnot. A ton of views on that one, getting a lot of great responses from that. So I do think that, we're going to see an ETF in 2025. I think there's going to be, a lot of momentum here into the end of the year. So we'll see what kind of price we get to at the inevitable launch. But generally, they like to launch these ETFs when things are inflated, right? They don't want to do it near the bottom because they don't want people getting in on the ground floor opportunity. They want to use you. They want you to lose. They want to basically use you as exit liquidity. And that might make you angry, and it probably should. It does me, but it's just, this is how the game is played, right? Don't play the game if you don't understand how it's played, and it's definitely rigged toward the haves and not the have-nots, right? So we have to, see it for what it is. Call it like it is. Call a spade, and unfortunately, it's a rigged game. We just need to learn how to play the rigged game, right? So at the end of the day, I think XRP is going to see a ton of upside here into the end of this cycle. I've done multiple videos as well on where I think it can go. I think $8 to $10 is very realistic and conservative. This cycle, I think we could potentially hit somewhere between 12 and 15. On the high end, on the very high end, maybe $20, $25 at the most. I wouldn't see it going much past there. Anybody who's telling you that it's going to $100 this cycle or $1,000 this cycle, I just question their sanity. I don't think it's going to go that high. Obviously, I think XRP can hit those numbers eventually, but it's probably going to be 3, 5 plus 10 years from now, right? So we can't get too ahead of ourselves. And that's one thing that happens too, is you see all these scams come out. Be very wary of those. But you also have analysts and mainstream media trying to get you to believe that the price is just going to continue to go higher and higher and higher. And the reason why they do that is because they want to rope people in at the last minute as exit liquidity to pawn off their big positions, right? So these big positions require big buyers, and you need to have those buyers to offset the sellers. And these big whales, right, and financial institutions want to rope you in at the last second. That's why they're approving all these Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs when prices are at near all-time highs. They're not doing when it's at all-time lows because they want you to lose. They really, it's a dog eat dog kind of game, and we just have to play it the way it's supposed to be played. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, what your game plan is. Do you think we're going to see an ETF for XRP at some point in 2025? I know, again, this was mostly tailored to the Canadians, but it's the same can be applied in the US as well. I just don't know exactly how the accounts work. I have a general idea, but you'll have to consult a financial advisor and just do some research yourself. But hopefully this was helpful, especially from a Canadian perspective. All right. Hope you have a great night. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. See you on the next one.